Welcome back. Another episode, Times Radical. So, I got this watch. It's a Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date. And it's in pretty rough shape. So, let's see what we're working with. I actually ordered a different dial in hands. It was quite expensive buying the new old stock dial in hands, having them shipped. So like and subscribe so I can keep doing these projects. This project's going to take me quite some time, but when you finally see it, it's all just going to be in one video. But since I ordered the dial in hands and I don't really know what's going on inside the watch, I think it's a good idea that I take a look at the parts inside the watch to see what this watch will need, so I can start ordering. Maybe I can polish the case and find a nice bracelet or strap in the meantime while I'm waiting for everything to be shipped. Okay, so let's get into it. Looks like it was serviced in 2000, and gaskets coming off. Doesn't look too bad at all, just a little dirty. All right, let's start taking this thing apart, checking all the pieces. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done a overhaul outside of work. So, just be patient with me. We can see how easy this stuff comes off. Not too easy. But the screws don't look too bad. It's a little dirty. The reversers. Make sure all the teeth are still there. Oh, and that is probably why the rotor axle's loose. Looks like the jewel fell out. I'm gonna need to put this jewel back onto the bridge there. Oh boy. Well, maybe I don't need to change the axle if it's only the jewel that caused the problem by falling out. Okay. Take a look with the loop, the condition of the axle. These parts are hard to find because they've been discontinued. There is some wear around here. So what I'm gonna do is tighten up this hole and make sure that the jewel can press in there nice and sturdy. So these are the automatic parts. And now we can continue with the rest of the watch. And it doesn't look too bad. Can unscrew the crown. See how many turns it gets. It's about 3/4 of a turn. So the watch winds. Balance moves. We can test the end shake and make sure that the staff isn't broken. The staff isn't broken, but there's a lot of end shake. Which is okay. It's not too much end shake, and the hairspring looks like it's in good condition. Okay, so I'm gonna take the power off of the watch. You can see the click here moves out of the way. I can hold it back and I can let go of the crown and let all that power release. And as the power releases, the balance wheel comes to a stop. I pull the crown out into the setting position. Well, I actually have some really nice screwdrivers. I was using these old ones, but I actually got some nicer ones right here. These are a lot nicer. Sometimes forget what I have. Sometimes we forget what we have to be thankful for. Okay, so going to unscrew the detent here. Pull the stem out. Then I'm actually gonna tighten it back down so the setting mechanism doesn't fall apart. Now, I'm gonna loosen up the case screws. Rotate the movement so the case screws fit in that slot and into this notch there. I will turn this pad over and there we go. So, I mean, the dial is really nice, but I mean, I just don't like the color. We're going to remove the hands carefully so we don't scratch the dial. And I will be taking this hand off. Most of my best tools are at work, so I'm just working with what I got here at home. This movement is surprisingly clean. I'm gonna hold this lever down while I take this off. Pull this spring back. It's got a little jewel on it. Now I'm gonna take out the cap jewels. And clip this spring back in. flip the movement over. Take out the cap jewels here. This falls out. Okay. Now, start taking everything off. Ratchet wheel. So at least we know that the mainspring isn't broken. We can check the end shake there of the barrel arbor is nice. It's actually quite nice. It's a good watch. Now I'll remove the seconds pinion. See the reflection? That's good. It's not rusty. I'm really glad the watch is not rusty. I'm gonna pull this intermediate wheel off. Gonna get right under there. See how this tool grabs the wheel. Just pull it right off. Now we're going to remove the crown wheel. It's actually two pieces. Crown wheel. Crown wheel core. Then we have this little washer here. Now we're going to take off the barrel bridge. I'm actually very pleased. Doesn't look like I'll have to be replacing many parts. Besides the dial and hands, which I think are optional. And then I'll only have to repair that. I'll just have to reinstall that jewel. All right, so there's the barrel bridge. Take out the barrel here. A little dirty, but we can always clean this up. And here we can see if there's any wear here. Very little. See the stop spring moving? Reaches all the way under and touches the balance wheel, so that you can stop the watch and set the watch to the seconds. Make sure that this balance is tight. And we'll take out the gear train. $15.70 movement. Very simple. Couple bridges. Not too many wheels. And check the reflection on the pivots. Inspect the teeth. Make sure all the teeth are there, nothing's broken. Yeah. Okay. Now let's screw that detent. Pull out the stem. These don't want to come out. Sliding pinion. Winding pinion. Tighten this detent back up. Flip it back over. Now I'll take the rest of the setting mechanism apart. Minute wheel. There's the intermediate seconds wheel came off with that. We got the yoke spring and the yoke. So yeah, it looks good. And this is the detent. I could take it out or not. And we can inspect the jewels. See if these jewels have any cracks in them. Before I clean the movement. Jewels are clean. And we'll have to take a look at all the parts. Watch is pretty much fully disassembled. We can start cleaning and repairing. And then we can wait for the dial and hands to come in. We gotta polish the watch. Hopefully this crystal isn't cracked. Maybe we can reuse it. It would be nice to get a fresh crystal, but they're hard to find, and when you do, they're really expensive. So put this movement away. And let's take apart the case now. Pull that gasket out. It would be nice to get a new crown and tube on this. Gotta make sure I can get a hold of one though. That's the problem. Okay. Case is a little dirty. Get the razor blade in there. Push down. Pop it off. I think this had some waterproofing issues. We got some epoxy there. I can pop out the crystal. To clean all this stuff up. Sometimes the fingernail does the job. We can use some pegwood too. But there it is. The watch fully disassembled, and we'll just keep going with the overhaul. I'm gonna clean up, regroup, and see you soon. So first things first, I'll take the bracelet off if I can. Whoop. Luckily these spring bars are not frozen. This bracelet is definitely not a Rolex bracelet, but it's actually pretty cool. I like it. It's kind of got a president style links, but it's stainless steel. I don't know, I might just put a black rubber strap on this in the end, depending on how much I end up spending on doing the servicing. All right, now let's, you can hear the rotor axle. So let's hope the balance wheel's good. The knurling around the case back is worn, but I think there's enough material on it to open it. So let's open up this watch. You can see the hands have fallen off. So when I want to get I ordered a nice matte black dial, and it ended up coming with new old stock hands. So I think it's going to look pretty sharp. And this dial is kind of boring, so I want a little more contrast in the watch. All right, let's open up this case back, check it out. Okay. So now I have my movement holder here. Actually, I need to loosen up that detent. Put the stem back in. Tighten it back down. Now we can put the hand, the setting mechanism is really nice on this thing. Now I'm going to remove the hand without touching the dial. Get the hand off. Now, going to loosen up the dial screws. And can remove this dial. So the dial feet are still in place. I'm going to take a look at the numbers. Printing's still good. Got a lot of work to do on this thing. But in the end, I'll have a nice watch, so that's good. Okay, so let's continue. This is the calendar platform. Okay. So I have the case back secured in this carriage. I'm gonna have the angle set to where it lines up. And I'm staying away from the knurling. So I'll just get this started like this. And we're gonna use a heavier grit paper to get the scratches out. And we'll use a lighter grit after to give it a polish. And then we'll move over to the white wheel, then the yellow. So let's go. That should be enough. I'm not going to go crazy on this thing because it's already pretty worn. Let's switch the disc. So this is a 6-jaw chuck. Place the case back on it, like so. And I'm going to use this Henry stick with the line finish on the edge of the case back. We're going to do 500 RPMs. Sandpaper right after casing the wash. There's still some scratches from before, but we're going to keep those. Okay. Turn it on. Now we're going to switch to the yellow wheel. Yellow wheel gets this yellow rouge. Gives it a real high finish. got to do the line finish on the edge here. First thing we're going to do is refinish the case back, then the bezel, then the case. So we'll start with the case back. We're going to put it on the lapping machine. We're going to match up the angle of this edge of the case back to here. Show you how we do that. These discs are magnetized, so they snap on pretty easily. You can see how it looks now. So give it almost a mirror finish. This is just to get the lines out and get the red disc created. See, almost a mirror finish. But we got to give it a really high polish now. So I'll move over here. We use this white wheel. Goes with this white rouge. I'm going to take this off. So here's the testing mark I did. I put it here. I line it up like so, and I move to see that we're right in the center. You can make sure the bezel gets finished real well. So we have it at 1100. And we're going to start turning it. Now this isn't going to take very long. This bezel is very thin. So we're just going to go around a few times. Now we switch to the blue disc. Just like that. Now we go back over here. We use the white wheel first. Yellow wheel second. So So now when we refinish the bezel, we're essentially doing the same thing with the case back. We put it on the carriage here, and we have to mark the bezel to make sure that we line it up properly. So that's enough marking. Now we're going to clean up the bottom and give the edge a nice line finish. Now we have a nice high polished bezel. So bezel's done. Case back's done for now. Now I'll go to the case. So we're making some progress. That right there will not come out. So we're just shining it up. This watch has been polished about 1,000,000 times. It's so old. So we're going to keep it light. Now we're going to move over to the white wheel over here. Now I'll move to the yellow wheel. There's a lot of back and forth changing wheels, especially when polishing the case. that the high polish is done, we have to put the line finish on the top of the lugs and on the bottom. So let's do that. We're going to go back over here. We're going to switch out the wheel. Slow it down to 500. Be very careful. Put the line finish on like that. Sometimes you don't get it right. Just go over it again. Finish on this case back goes this way. Go like that. There we go. Now we have to go back and clean up the high polish in case any of this line finish ran over. So go back over here and do the yellow wheel. Just like that. Case frame is done. Case back and bezel are finished. We're going to clean this in ultrasonic and get that movement together and put together a nice watch. So for the case, I'm going to use this felt wheel. Goes with this gray rouge. We're going to take out all the heavy dings and scratches. And we need to cover the reflector ring so we don't make any mistakes. We're going to turn this at 900. Now this will take a long time, and the piece is going to get really hot. So let me just show you what we do generally. It's already starting to get that shine, but we really need to get out the scratches. So I'm going to skip ahead. And I'm probably not going to get that one all the way out because it's pretty deep. But I'm going to skip ahead so that this is pretty boring. So just so you don't have to suffer. So we put the stake in upside down like this. We loosen this. And we turn, and the stake drops all the way down, creating our stump. Now we can see if the bridge is the correct size for this stump. And it's a good size, but I think we can go a little bigger. I want a really solid base. Use that one. I'm gonna make sure this one isn't too big. And this is not too big, it's the right size. Now I'm gonna grab a rounded punch. Like that. And we actually have to make sure that this is centered. So once we find the right stakes, we can get our centering punch, put it down in there, and we can tighten this block down. So now this block doesn't move. Can drop our stump in there. We can grab our bridge. Now everything's lined up. I'm going to take my hammer and give it a nice whack. Take it off. You can see if the jewel drops in, and it does. So we're gonna need a little bit more work on this. Okay, so same idea with the sights tool. put a piece in the pushing section. Can drop it in there, then get a stump right there. The cool thing about the sights tool is it has this dial here. You can control how far down you want that stake to go. You can lift it up. It won't drop as far. So let's give this thing a whirl. See how much pressure it takes. Get this jewel in. To lower. Well, I really need to lower this. Well, it's a tight, it's a tight fit. Difficult fit. All right, so today's the day we finish this project. I have the movement completely disassembled. I have every part of the watch here cleaned. The balance, just keeping it to the side for now. We have the case polished. It's refinished quite well. There's still the ding on the side there, but it turned out pretty good. Despite being really worn out, it's definitely an old watch. I have the new dial, which is actually really nice. New old stock black dial. We can take a look. I'm going to put this nice rubber strap on it. It's thin, very flexible. It should match the watch really well, especially with this black dial. So I'm finally getting excited about this project. But here it is. Very nice matte black. Let's see if we can get a good look at it. I mean, this is new old stock. You're never gonna see a dial like this again. I mean, look at that thing. It's perfect. I'm gonna put this dial off to the side here. We got the hands. These are new old stock also. Just gonna minute hand, hour hand, seconds hand. So that took a couple weeks for the dial to come in. It always takes longer than you want when you're excited about doing these projects, but that's what it's going to look like. Going to have a nice matte black dial on this watch with a rubber strap. I think that was a good idea because it's kind of a dress watch. Usually they have glossy dials, but it'll kind of give the watch a more sporty look. A little tougher look, even though it's a small watch. The one thing we have to start off with now is doing the repair. And this is it right here. The jewel for the rotor axle falls right through the bridge. This is the lower automatic bridge. Just drops right through. I was hoping it just fell out from force, but it kind of wore out. So I'll show you how we do that right now. So for this part of the repair, I'll be using the staking set. I'm gonna find a stake that can close the hole there. Then we'll be using the Sights jeweling tool to press in the jewel after the hole has been repaired. So when we're choosing a stake, we use this so that we don't touch some of this stuff, but I'm gonna need a flat stump for the bottom to go into here that fits inside this area, so we can hold the bridge on top of the stump, and then we can hammer down on a stake that is rounded, that can start pushing the material in. I don't have a stump small enough for the staking set, so we actually can use the stake. What you do is put it in. Actually put it in upside down. All right, so because the hole's so big, I'm going to use a different type of punch to move more of the outside material in. When you use the rounded stake like this, it can kind of push the material in, kind of in a different way. It kind of compresses the hole, but there's just not enough material to compress in with using the rounded punch without creating a concave in the hole. So this is a little bit sharper, and this is concaved. It's got a sharper edge. So this is actually going to push in material from the outside in, while the rounded punch would push material kind of from the inside in. That is how it works. So just want to make sure I'm nice and centered here. I'm going to go light. Need some room. Now let's see if we're getting any closer. Ooh, so the jewel is still dropping in, but just not as much. It's definitely not an ideal situation. This hole is just so enlarged. But, you know, we're not in danger of, you know, ruining anything. We just need to move the material. Sometimes it's best to give it one good one. Okay. Let's see. Still dropping in there. We can go from the other side also. Maybe someone's already done this a bunch of times. Man, this thing is worn out. Okay, I'll give it a go. Give it a nice whack. Wow. Okay. Well, I think we're doing pretty good now. The jewel's not going through. So, I don't know. Let's see if it works. Yeah, let's see if this works. The good thing is the jewel's very flush. Even, flat, it's going in smooth. Now let's see how much pressure we need to push that jewel in and see if it's going to be secure. So pop out the sights tool right here. And press in that jewel. All right, let's see if that worked. I'm gonna push down on this jewel now. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's more important that I see it at this point. Okay, so looks like it's in there. It's in there pretty tight. It's fairly flush. I mean, it's definitely level. I mean, it's parallel, but it could go down a little further. I would really like it to. Just a touch further. I want to make sure, double check. Yeah, we got it. Everything should be correct here. Let's look at this side. Oh yeah, I like that. Maybe you all can see this. Nice and level. If you look on this side, it's in there. I mean, look at how many times this jewel has been reworked. It's a lot. But it went in there really tight, so we banged on that thing pretty hard. So that was scary. Had to be done. Okay, now we can actually put this watch together. All right, let's go. Okay, so once again, we're pulling out all the stops here for this watch. When I closed the hole, closed it up a little too much. I thought we had it just right. It looked like it was going in halfway, but then it just wouldn't push down. So I have a couple staking sets here and the jeweling tool. So I was able to find a cutting tool here, put it in a stake, and get a nice stump. Now we can smooth out that hole, open it up a little bit. Sure it's nice and tight in there. So I'm going to go straight through. And give it a little cut. All right, let's see if that worked. All right, now for the fun part, huh? Can't believe I had to do all that stuff to this watch. It was like not cool. All right. It's getting hot in here. All right, I'm gonna prepare this watch. I'm gonna pull out these jewels. Oh. A little sticky, huh? Tweezers got a little oil on them. Okay. And we'll do the gear train bridge too. So I'm sure you've seen everyone do this. want to see me do it. Got my automatic oiler here. Got a little shaky, huh? Something's up with this watch. No wonder why they wanted to throw it away. Like everyone and their moms worked on this watch. This is insane. This cap jewel seems good. This one, like, doesn't want to quite fit. I'll have to do that one over again. Yep. Wow. All right, we'll have to do that one again later. Let's do these. Man, working at a service center environment, all these parts are available, but not for this watch anymore. That's why we're working on it at home. Yeah, so basically, a guy came in and he said, I don't know, he probably bought a watch and then had this one, said throw it away. So a lady gave it to me and said, hey, you guys, maybe you want it. I gave it to my boss. He said, I want to work on that thing. So, okay. He said, you fix it. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm fixing it. I spent a lot of money on a dial. Most of the money was actually with shipping and fees and stuff. I cannot believe, I don't know, these jewels. I haven't worked on a 1570 movement in so long. Something about these jewels bother me. maybe I just haven't seen one in forever. Yeah, I'm gonna redo these. Something about them bothers me. I can't even remember which one I did correctly. The other jewel, in one of the cap jewels wasn't even going in the in setting. It's like, it's not good. Kind of wondering if these are the real jewels, but we got the escape wheel jewels oiled on the main plate and the gear train bridge. I'm going to clean these cap jewels up for the balance wheel, re-oil them. Okay, so I had to check up on some tools. Just greasing up the levers. Gonna install my spring. Find what I need. I'm actually gonna use this. Okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna do a setting wheel here. And an hour wheel there. Minute wheel. Minute wheel right here. And let's find that setting wheel. Make sure we got it correct. A little grease. Teeth. All right. Let me just show you what I'm working with here. Setting bridge. Find the right screws. And so I can't drop these screws. I don't know where the hell I'll ever find them again. I gotta grease the detent. There we go. Winding here, setting there. I'm actually gonna put a little grease on the winding pinion. I'm gonna flip her over, install the gear train. So I put the minute wheel on right over the jewel for one of the gear train wheels. So I'm gonna go ahead and make note of that. And thank you all for sticking around. This is literally, this is like a project from hell. Making sure I got everything. I don't even know. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and drop some oil into that jewel. Make sure I get the right amount of oil on this wheel. And put some oil in this jewel too. Escape wheel, third wheel, no, escape wheel, that's a fourth wheel. So we got the barrel, great wheel, third wheel, fourth wheel, escape wheel. Put this gear train bridge on. Whoa. There we go. $15.70 movements, super simple. Goes together really quick. It's just that when they have a problem, like we had, really sucks. Let's load that up with some oil. Load that up with some oil. All right. Crown wheel. It's time for the crown wheel. Lay down the crown wheel washer like that. Okay, so crown wheel washer. Put some grease on the bottom side of the actual wheel. Then I'm gonna put some grease inside the crown wheel core. There's a channel. There we go. Crown wheel's turning. This ratchet wheel in there. You can check for some backlash. All right. Now that we got that done, we have to put in this intermediate wheel for the seconds. This thing just fits right on top of that pinion. And we can use our little Horotech hand pusher here to push down that wheel. I don't know, maybe you guys want to see. I'll show you. Like that. Pretty cool. It does have some backlash, so that's good. All right. Actually, that's a pretty good view. Let's continue like this. Sorry, I think it was really boring the other way, huh? But this is a lot more difficult for me to do the work. So we gotta find like a happy medium. Lighting is better. I know these videos are boring, they're long. But hey, we got a watch to work on. And you need to see it. Put a little grease on that. This is the seconds pinion. Right in there. You know, maybe one of these days I can get a better camera. I can get more watches like this. But geez, this is one expensive hobby. To tell you the truth. So that's why I do it for work. I'd be broke if I spent all my time doing this at home. Gotta do it at work. But it would be cool. If you got the funds, you could buy some watches and build a tool collection. There we go. Nice and centered. That spring on top of the seconds pinion. Keep the seconds hand sweeping smoothly. You won't see such a big tick. Now we go for the escape. We go for the pallet fork. Here we go. It's in there. There we go. All right, I think I found my groove. Let me wind it up. Freaking old watch. I don't even know how old this watch is, but it's old. I gotta oil this escapement now. Okay. Oiling the escapement is no joke. It's gotta be clean. Which that wasn't very clean. Now let's put in that balance wheel. Put in the balance wheel. Look at her go. Man, hope you guys can see this. Like I'm not in the way. Whoops. We can actually stop all that. Start it up again. I mean, that's going, man. That's moving. I don't even think it's fully wound yet. Okay. Looking good. It's taking forever. Okay, dial side. Speed it up. Grease up this minute pinion. Now I'm going to put the movement just on a flat surface. Just to support the jewel. I'm going to put this cannon pinion on. See? There we go. Good watch. No, I could have used that. Jeez, it's been so long since I work on this watch. It's been too long. Not really. It's nice to just be able to go to work and fix watches. Have all the spare parts, you don't have to mess around with manipulating bridges and it's difficult. either way you go. You want to do a hobby at home. Or you want to either want to do the hobby at home, or you want to work in full-on service center mode. Got to do a lot of production, you know. You have all the resources right there. Okay. So then you have expectations. But when you're at home, you can work at your own pace, but you're just not really getting paid. So it's kind of a problem. See what I'm doing here? Flipping the parts. The right orientation. Super hard to do with Jesus Christ. I'm like working really fast here. Oh, hold down that spring. There we go. There we go. Mm-hmm. I'm counting all these screws as I'm putting this watch together. They're just disappearing. I don't know if I have enough. I'm like, where are they? But we're almost done, so it makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I gotta have a better tool. Okay, just do that with a piece of pegwood. I think it left a little piece of wood in there too. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is what we need. Special screw. Special screwdriver. Let's see how this snaps. Boom, nice. Okay. Watch is going. I need to take a break. Recharge, come back, put the automatic together, dial hands, case up this watch. All right, be right back. Okay, so I just re-cleaned these jewels here. Let's start over. This is a Herculean effort. I cannot believe it. It's too much. It's too much work for a watch, but we're gonna have a nice watch after this. That's for sure. Okay. There we go. There we go. They both flipped over. Perfect. Oh man, these jewels. You got a good amount of oil in them. Perfect. Now let's do the install. Spring clip is clipped in. Flip it over here. Now this one will go into the balance bridge. We haven't installed that yet. I mean, we've barely done anything yet. All right, let's do the setting mechanism. Get the detent. Get the detent screw. I'm gonna oil the detent screw just like that. There you go, detent screw goes right in there. Flip the watch over. I'm actually gonna hold the screw down with my finger. I know I don't have the finger cots at home. Actually, once the detent is on the detent screw, and turn the watch around. I'm going to hold the detent down. Screw that into place. There we go. So we got the detent in there with a nice fingerprint on it. I know everybody loves that. But I'm working at home on a personal watch, so it's my choice. Clean it up with some Rotor. Go cry to your mom if you don't like it. I don't care. I'm actually gonna loosen it up. No, I'm not. Man, I haven't worked on a 1570 in forever. It's been almost 2 years. I'm gonna put it in the barrel. Got my automatic oiler. I'm really gonna oil that sucker up. Throw it down the barrel. Oil that arbor. Really just, I know. You oil it too much. Maybe not. Not much oil is coming out of that thing. Oh, actually, we need to put in the stop spring. Good thing I have it right here. Stop spring will, whoops. So much easier doing this without a camera in your face. But I gotta show people what I'm doing at home. I mean, I can do this alone just fine, but I might as well share. Okay, so now we got the stop spring in there. Make sure it's free. Now I can put it in the barrel bridge. See, now the watch is going to come together quick. Hopefully. Boom, just like that. Flip it over, put it in the setting mechanism. Get my sliding pinion. Put it there. Get the winding pinion. Put a little grease where it's going to make contact. I can grease my stem. Now the stem doesn't go in until we loosen up that detent again. There we go. We're halfway rebuilt. All right, all right. All right, so let's do the timing. Slow her down. What we're doing is moving the timing screws out. Jeez. You know, the balance wheel's going back and forth. Timing screws on the edge of the balance wheel. When they go in, the inertia makes it tick faster. So we pull them out, make them tick slower. This watch is going very fast. And we just have to see where we're at. So and you guys can't see anything here. Move some stuff out of the way. Just put this here. See if we made a dent in the timing. I don't want to get too hung up on timing with you guys. It's super boring. Not that any of this has been exciting. All right, check it out. Look at us go. Just change the beat error. We have 274 amplitude. Amazing. Dial up now. I think the beat error is going to change a little bit. Still have 267 amplitude. It's about 42 seconds fast, so we're going to slow this baby down, but we're looking real good. Good watch, good servicing. Still gonna take some time, but we'll figure it out. But we are slowing it down. It's kind of a preliminary check. And I mean, look at this old dial. It's very nice. It's still in like great condition. But it's just the same color as the case. It's super boring. We can check some of these other positions too. I mean, we're getting great amplitude. It's awesome. This is like almost a chronometer spec, you know? We're still fast. But I mean, not bad. 1570. This is the watch. It's probably from the late 60s. All right, keep slowing her down. Okay, I found the sweet spot. 260 plus 9. Flip it over, dial side up. Still 260 amplitude plus 6. Do these vertical positions. Plus 3. Amplitude goes down a little bit. Still 248. Flip it over again over here. Plus 8. We're less than 10 seconds fast in every position. Well over 200 degrees amplitude in all the positions. Yeah, this is perfect. You're wearing this watch on your wrist. We have what, a delta of 10 or 11. Yeah, this is a good watch. Good movement, serviced super well. Yeah, so let's get the automatic together. Dial hands on in case this baby up. Been working on this watch for multiple days. Let's do it. All right, my bench is a mess. As always, end of the day type shit. Whoops, it's time for the auto. I'm not messing around anymore. We've come a long way with this watch. I mean, taking apart, identifying issues, cleaning the movement, polishing the case. I located a new dial, hands, paid for it. We got gaskets, have a crystal. Actually, we don't need these right now. Right now, this is all we need. So let's put this auto together. All right, doing the minute hand now. Minute hands on there super tight. I mean, as it should be, but geez, this is real tight. There we go. I also like to give a shout out to my uncle Giovanni, who got me into this watchmaking. My friend Dashel and Colleen, their baby Cece, the instructors at North Seattle Watch Technology Institute, Elaine and Eric. They're not there anymore, but they're awesome. And yeah, just thank everyone for watching these videos. And, so hopefully everyone's doing well. You know, I actually had to broach out that minute hand. That was pretty tough. Now I got a seconds hand here to put on. I really hope it goes on well. So what I gotta do, I have to raise this post up Gotta use a big screwdriver. Go in the back here and lift that up. I can kind of feel the movement lifting, just kind of resting. That tip of the screw is resting on the seconds pinion right there. So it gives it some support when you're pushing down on the seconds hand. I mean, these hands are super tight. They're just incredibly tight. They almost don't even want to go. On. All right, I got all my casing components here. Got my spring bars, crown, tube, case back gasket. I got some generic crystals. These original crystals go for like $325. Let's hope one of these crystals works. Sometimes they crack. If not, I'll just use the original one it came with. But I'd really like to have a nice clear crystal show off that dial. So I bought this Horotech tube wrench. First time I ever used it. I bought this thing years ago. I mean, this is an expensive piece. So let me get this all set up and we'll install the crown and tube. I'm gonna get things together. I can zoom in for you guys. Not really a fan of the auto. They work. It's good, but I don't know. I kind of just want to put the amount on that I actually want to put on, and I want to just do it once. Clipped it in. Let's put on the winding pinion. And we got lucky with this whole project. Just having it available. Was pretty fortunate. I don't know. Automatic oiler's pretty good. I just maybe need to get used to it. I know we're not anywhere near the end of this project. But I do want to give a shout out to some of my friends. My friend Kofi, my friend Lloyd, my friend Francis, my friend Malik, my friend Ryan, my friend Mike, these are some personal friends and some subscribers who have really helped me out over the years, sending me work, checking in with me. And give a shout out to Patty. Give a shout out to Luigi, Carol, my mom and my dad, all the family and friends who helped me with this. Just, being okay with showing what I'm doing on YouTube. Friend Anthony, Daniel. So here we go. It's the auto. There's some subscribers who watch my videos right away. Appreciate you guys too. There's a guy in New Zealand. There's an Arizona guy. I mean, it's just been incredible to have the encouragement and know that, people are out there and they're watching and saying, hey, I see you. I mean, that's a smooth wind, We did that rotor axle jewel repair just right with what we got. And these tools, they're hard to collect, all of them. Like, I know I'm lacking with some of the hand tools, but it's like the hand tools only get you so far anyways. It's really the staking sets, the bench. It's the auto oilers, it's the screwdrivers, it's the case back openers, it's the tube wrenches, it's all this other stuff, the cleaning machine. Like, that's what really is the barrier to entry. Like, you can do mods and stuff with Seikos, which you guys know I do, but you could do all that stuff with minimal hand tools. But when you get into the actual repair, You got to have this big stuff going on. You got to have the space too. Got out a house. Or you gotta, I rent a spot, you know, to keep all these tools. And what, I barely get a project. I get a project like a few times a year, you know. Well, I need to keep all this stuff around. So if you want to get into this, you gotta make sure you have this, have the space, the tools, and it's not just enough collecting it. You gotta have the motivation and like interest and like personal incentive, like, oh, I would like to do this, you know. Like, it's really hard because, like, yeah, you want to do it, you can do it, and you should do whatever you want. Especially with like the modification watches. Those are super fun. You could build so many cool watches. Probably cooler than this watch too. But if you want to do the real repair and full servicing, you need a lot of resources. I don't even have very many resources. I just do this, you know, with what I've collected over the years. And I mean, it takes years. I've been servicing watches full time since 2012. I mean, that's a long time. I chose this as a career, you know, and I'm telling you, it's felt foolish. So we got the date clicking, but you know what? It's like I need something to do anyways. And now that I know how to do this, it's harder to find interest in other things. You know, even though I wanted to have an interest in other things, every time I look into something else I might be interested in doing as a hobby, it's just like, you know, I work on watches for a living, and I don't want to do this work as a hobby because I'm already doing it for a living. But then you get to a place where it's like, yeah, well, it's also a hobby. So, all right, we got the whole movement completed. Timing's good. Automatic systems repaired. Watch is running great. We got the case polished. We have dial hands, brand new. Brand new from when? New old stock parts, incredible. so difficult to find. So let's do it. All right, so I'll show you how to put the, I'm gonna get some more light in here. I'll show you how to do the dial in hands. We wanna bring here's winding position, setting position. I got the dial screws on the side of the watch out. I'm gonna bring it around and take a look at that finger on the date wheel. It's gonna come around. Nice and slow. Click, that's midnight. I'm gonna take my dial. Beautiful new old stock dial. Thing hasn't been touched. I'm gonna touch it. I can touch it, I bought it. I was gonna bring some finger cots from work, but forgot. Tighten it down. My friend called my finger cots finger blasters. All right, there we go. The dial is on. Look at that thing. Jeez, look at how old this puffer is. It's disgusting. I got a new one for work. Thought I would bring my old one here. This thing is degrading. Oh, I gotta throw this thing away. It's gross. That's nasty. So I'll just use this generic one I got. Thought I was gonna bring my professional tools to my home space, but I didn't. Gotta throw it away. Look at that. Super nice. I love this watch. I love this dial. I actually had one of these watches, the same one. The matte dial. Be very careful here. Pulling these hands out. I ended up selling it. You know, sometimes you collect a bunch of stuff and then you end up having to sell it when you need the money. But that's why it's nice to collect things. Collect things you like. Hopefully they retain their value. And when life changes on you, you get a surprise. You always got something to sell. And every time you sell something, you're dealing with other people, so you meet new people. That's how I ended up, you know, moving to my second job as a watchmaker. I ended up selling a watch to another watchmaker. Years later, years later, a long time later, he said, "Hey, you still doing it?" I said, "Yeah." So we should come over here. So that was interesting. All I'm working on a lot of newer stuff, and the vibe is totally different. But it's all good. Sometimes we need a change. Look at that. Man. Just gonna go on right. If that's not a tight fit, I don't know what is. I want to make sure I got the right attachment. I don't know. What do you think? Need a bigger attachment on this. Press it down all the way. Yeah, I mean, I don't have all the cameras and everything or the time to edit the videos like a lot of these other channels do. So it's like, I just pick the projects I want to do. And I do the videos, no editing. I mean, that's all I got time for. I used to actually not like this press, but I kind of like it. So we can see, can bring it around again. See when this date's changing. It's a nice watch. Almost looks like an Explorer, you know, like an old Explorer, because it's got the matte dial. Perfect. It's right on the money. Brand new hands. Never gonna find anything like this again. I don't think I'm gonna ever buy a new stock matte black dial. I gotta put this on. Really gotta make sure it lines up. Okay. Oh man, I'm telling you guys, this is not an easy watch. Seconds hand just drops straight down to the minute hand. I ended up taking it off without scratching the other hands. It was just, there's no room. I mean, the hands are tight. You want to push them down as far as you can. Get the hour hand down. The minute hand is down as far as it can go. It's just barely riding over the markers. And then that seconds hand is super tight. As soon as it pushes down a little further, it just wants to go all the way down. So it's on there now. It's on, its seconds hand is down as far as it can go without touching. Well, it is touching, barely touching the minute hand. So, but I wish it was down further with more room not to touch the minute hand. So I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to lift it up. I'm honestly very surprised that lifting that seconds hand up like that to kind of bend it up isn't popping it off the watch. Because I mean, there is like, there's very little clearance. That's not cool. It's not a good problem to have. I guess I could kind of bend the minute hand down. But the minute hand is super close to the markers, but the dial does kind of, once the dial's cased in the watch, it'll go down further. It's interesting. Interesting what you find at the end. See, I push the dial all the way down, and then I screw in the dial screw. Wants to lift up. I gotta push down on that minute hand a little more. But not too much more. I mean, geez. There we go. I mean, you can't even see the clearance. It's so minimal. But it's there. So minute hand is, the seconds hand is definitely secure. I mean, you saw me bending on that thing. The minute hand's secure. I did need to broach it out. It's too hard to film that. It's hard to film it and do a good job. The point is to, you know, get this watch really nice. And if the filming is going to distract or the camera is going to be in the way and it's going to, you know, screw up the result, I just can't risk that. But that's what I did, and it's looking great. Little scary hiccup. But we're going. So let's watch this minute hand go around. I gotta clear the workspace up and get ready for casing. So let's watch this seconds hand go around. Make sure it clears the minute hand. Then we know we can case up the watch. Yeah, there we go. Good. So much time, effort, money, the luck of the draw, receiving the watch. Last thing you want to do is have a problem, especially in the end, but it's usually when it happens. All right. Take out the stem. Put the watch aside. Now, clean up, get ready to case. Okay, got my different pin vise, a little better. Wow. As you could tell, I'm losing patience. I really like this one though. I think this stem is a little screwed up. Get a nice file. There we go. Nice clean fit. Telling you, was it worth it? I don't know. Oh yeah, this pin vise is great. It's a little old. I don't know, man. I don't know if these projects are worth a whole Sunday, or the last 2 days I've been working on it. You know, it's like a 3-day project, and buying parts, it's hard to tell, man. Buying tools, it's not easy. So if you want to get your watch serviced, you know, and you don't want to pay your watchmaker what they're asking, you think they're out of line or something, I think they're right in line. Spend 3 days on a watch, you have a business. I mean, that's something. You have all the tools, the parts, the rent. You might even have employees. You got to charge people for this type of work. So if you don't want to pay, don't pay. But if you go somewhere cheaper and they don't have the reputation you're looking for, then you're going to get what you paid for, you know. just the way it is. I mean, this is gonna be amazing. This watch is gonna be so cool. I don't want to service it again. We're gonna see how this generic crystal fits on there. Pretty clean though, pretty clean crystal. Fits good, or fits good around the case, but you never know if the bezel could be loose. Bezel fits on actually quite tight. It's going to be nice and snug. But the problem is if it's too snug, sometimes these generic crystals, they crack. And that's a problem. So get out some fumbling. Get my casing tool. Actually, take this crystal off real quick. Make sure I don't have any grease or oil in the threads or the reflector ring. I'll put it back on. Get the watch. I mean, look at that. Look at that watch, man. Come on. Can't beat that. It's gonna be sick. Flip this bad boy over. Yeah, the dial. The dial is high. There's almost no room to fit. Some of these watches are, they're just so perfect. There we go. Line that thing up, man. Put some fumbling. This crown here. That's a lot. But I want that tube lubricated. Actually, I'm gonna clean off I'm going to re-grease the stem after pulling it in and out so many times. Winding, screwing it down, setting. There we go. There we go. We got live action. All right, let's lock in this movement. Oh no. It's not locked in. And I could give up right now. Seriously. I gotta figure something out. That dial's really tight. I think when I screw down the dial screws too tight, it lifts the dial and it's not giving me enough room. All right, I'm gonna figure this out. I mean, geez, this Horotech tool set is like super complete. So I found the right one for the tube. I'll make sure I have some Loctite. Which I do. Last thing I need is no Loctite. Make sure I ordered the right tube. Great. Put in the tube gasket. Like so. Now I gotta remove the crown here. Wow. That crown was barely hanging on, to tell you the truth. But we got this nice new crown. Put some Loctite on the stem. Can't believe that crown was barely on there. Well, this one's not going anywhere. I need to use a different pin vise. All right, so I loosen up the dowel screw. Hopefully it helps. I mean, I could just throw this watch out the window right now. It's really driving me crazy. I don't know, man. Okay, we got it. We got it. It's all fine tuning right now. It's crazy how expensive these parts are and the tools. But it's like, you could spend like $300, $600, you could spend like $1,200 on a cleaning machine. You do like 2 servicings, it pays for itself. It all ends up paying for itself, but you take a big risk. What if you don't get the job, you know? What if it takes like a year or two to get a job with the watch repair with your own business at home outside of work? It's almost not worth it, you know? People just say, I'd rather just go to work and come home, spend time, you know, doing my own thing. But then it's like, what is your own thing? Watches are your thing. So you kind of end up, you know, wanting to do your own projects after helping people at work servicing their watches. You're like, hey, I want a watch. If you want to do that, then you need to do that on your own time. Then you need to create a space for yourself to be able to do it on your own time. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. It's not easy. But, you know, I have a nice new watch to wear. This isn't an expensive piece, but I like it. That's what matters. I'm not going to be, you know, not wearing like a $10,000 GMT. I'm wearing like $2,000 OPD. Look at this. It's like so nice. Boom, it's going to be incredible. Okay, we got to case this thing up. Case it up, man. get moving. Put some fumbling on these threads. Nice, got lubricated threads. Next thing we're gonna do is over here. I gotta find the correct sometimes things don't fit quite right. So you need a little help. Something like this will help a lot. There we go. Nice and tight. Nice fit. Yeah. So make sure it's, see, you don't hear that rotor axle hitting the case back. Nice and secure. We did a lot to this watch. I mean, jeez, man. So many things to do just to get this watch going. I wonder why the guy threw it away. Just throw it away. The crystal Cyclops has got to line up. It's not quite there yet. I'm going to take it off. Reinstall it. Move it down a little bit. See a little dust on the dial. There we go. That's nice, man. It's very nice. Okay. This bezel's actually pretty tight. Pretty nice fit. Okay, so still have some room to go. I don't want to scratch the bezel, so just gonna take a little tissue paper, put it over, press down. Yeah, nice little squeeze, just like that. Boom. It's a nice watch. So much nicer with that dial. So much nicer. And I got this black strap. Maybe I'll eventually find a bracelet once I don't, resent how much I spent on this watch. I'll feel like, buying another bracelet for it. But look at that, man. Look at this watch. Maybe it was worth it. I don't know, you tell me, was it worth it? Put these spring bars in. I always wanted to use this strap. I've had it for so long. I've used it on a couple watches, but if I end up selling the watch, I always take it off because it's so nice. It might not even fit quite right. I don't know yet. It's a tough fit. All right, here's the watch. Can't believe it's finally done. Let me turn these some of these lights off. Look at that. Strap doesn't fit the best. Kind of flexing. But, look at what we did to this thing. Polish the case, frame, bezel, case back. Got a new dial, new hands. Looks way better than this one. Totally got that rotor repaired. That jewel, there was no material left. Pushed it all in and smoothed it out. trip, man. This watch was a journey. Look at that. Just some natural light coming through the window. Put it on, you know. It's a good watch. A good watch to wear. It's not too big, you know. Kind of makes me look bigger because I got a watch that doesn't overpower my arm. And it's getting late. I think I've spent like 5 hours on this watch today, maybe more. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate everyone watching my channel. Lights out. All right, y'all. Keep it radical. Times radical.